Good morning, PSMB delegates. My name is Lei Peng, and I'm the Market Development Manager for Promega. I'm honored to be given the opportunity today to be part of this virtual 47th Annual Convention. In today's talk, I'd like to present a modular automation workflow that integrates sample preparation, nucleic acid extraction, and post-extraction analysis. To begin, I'd like to give a brief introduction to Promega. Promega Corporation is a global biotechnology company that's founded in 1978, headquartered in Madison, Wisconsin, with branches in 16 countries. Our products and technologies are used to support scientific advances in academic, pharmaceutical, clinical, forensic, industrial, and environmental lab worldwide. In today's talk, I will be sharing an automation workflow approach that integrates two platforms, namely the Maxwell RSC extraction instrument, as well as the MaxPrep liquid handler, as a flexible and easy solution to you to automate your DNA RNA extraction and post-extraction analysis. Now, I'd like to play a short 3 minutes video to illustrate the automation workflow. As described in the video, the Maxwell's RSC48 instrument is an automated 48 samples throughput nucleic acid extraction system, which I'd like to further discuss in the slides that follow. The Maxwell RSC instrument uses pre-filled cartridges and pre-programmed methods for sample processing. The system works with a variety of different sample types and process 1 to 48 samples simultaneously. It has an intuitive software to allow users to easily set up and execute a run. The Maxwell RSC48, as is illustrated in the video, has an integrated camera system that verifies the instrument setup and provides specific details of any errors that's identified prior to initiating the extraction run. The system, as well as the chemistry, is fully supported by Promega branches and exclusive distributors, offering a one-stop comprehensive service support. So this slide gives an overview of how the system processes samples using pre-filled reagent cartridges. The Maxwell RSC system is a magnetic particle mover. It has no liquid handling component, and hence one can expect fewer hardware failures that's relating to drips, clogs, fewer breakdowns, and cross-contamination. The magnetic rod assembly are covered by a disposable plastic shield that is included in the kit, and this moves the paramagnetic particles from well to well. If you look into the cartoon that is on the right side of the slide, you will see that each cartridge has different wells that's pre-filled with lysis buffer, paramagnetic particles, and wash buffers in the respective chamber. Samples is first added to the first well of the cartridge. Particles are then captured by the magnetic rods. The magnetic particles is then moved to well 1 to capture the nucleic acid. That's followed by several washes in subsequent chambers, and finally an elution step eluting the purified DNA, RNA, or total nucleic acid. The Maxwell RSC platform supports purification of DNA, RNA, and total nucleic acid from different sample types. Promega has supporting data on the expected yield for each sample type, which is available on our webpage and can be downloaded online. We have also a team of application scientists who can support you with customized protocols and application notes for sample types that you may currently be working on but not listed in this table. Please feel free to reach out to Promega and our represented distributor for further inquiries of sample types that's not listed in the table. This table gives a snapshot of the chemistry that's supported by the Maxwell, as well as an indicative instrument runtime. I'd like to highlight that give an example to the Maxwell viral total nucleic acid chemistry, which is currently used globally to support the diagnostic needs of COVID-19 diagnostic testing. The Maxwell RSC48 and the Maxwell viral total nucleic acids are also authorized for use with the CDC 2019 novel coronavirus real-time RT-PCR diagnostic panel. The onboard instrument runtime for this method is 31 minutes for a full 48 samples throughput. The system has a preloaded software and methods to support instrument runs. The software has an intuitive interface that guides the users through the purification run setup. User is also able to set advanced administrator functions for control of required sample information and report archiving options. As Promega launch new chemistry and methods for our platform, you may be pleased to be informed that the new purification methods can be downloaded at no additional charge from our webpage and can be easily installed by user to expand instrument capabilities. The MaxPrep RSC system also features the portal software for sample tracking. Through a laboratory network, the portal can seamlessly pass sample ID from the Maxwell cartridge processed on the MaxPrep directly to the RSC48 for extraction. User is able to query portal or import sample ID from the LIMS system to create sample-specific reports or export sample reports to network drives for easy LIMS access. I will speak more of this portal software when we discuss on the MaxPrep liquid handler. User can also generate consumer reports over selectable periods of time for budget planning. Next, I'd like to introduce the MaxPrep liquid handler, which is a complement to the Maxwell line of products. While the MaxWell platform has addressed low to medium throughput, many laboratories desire a higher throughput automation of more of their nucleic acid extraction workflow. The MaxPrep liquid handler gives the laboratory the flexibility to perform automated pre-processing for the Maxwell chemistry as well as post-processing activities to expand the workflow capabilities and throughput. The MaxPrep, in conjunction with the Maxwell RSC 16 throughput instrument, as well as the 48 throughput instrument, can work together to complete a workflow for sample preparation, nucleic acid extraction, and post-analysis setup, specifically with downstream applications such as sample transfer, normalization, PCR, and qPCR setup. In addition, this instrument can work in parallel to boost efficiency. So this modular approach to instrumentation will ensure that if any of this instrument requires service, the workflow can continue. With a modular system, it is possible to configure the systems to also meet the needs of laboratory workflow when throughput changes, with the flexibility to add modules into the workflow. The MaxPrep liquid handler is a 4-tip liquid handling platform. It has a liquid level sensing and supports a pipetting range from 1 to 1,000 microliter pipetting range. The system supports plate and plunger movements with pipetting channels, as well as a heater shaker for incubation step. Multiple sample tubes are supported and enables barcode scanning of primary sample tubes. The system configuration supports Maxwell trays with 16 samples, 48 samples throughput. The MaxPrep liquid handler uses Promega provided protocols for preparing samples prior to the Maxwell RSC extraction, as well as for post-processing. Promega also offers a one-stop application and service support for the MaxPrep and the Maxwell platform and chemistry. This slide gives an overview of the workflow for Maxwell DAC setup for viral TNA kit. Promega offers two methods for on-DAC lysis method, as well as an alternative off-DAC lysis method for laboratories to work with infectious sample types such as the SARS-CoV-2 that require viral inactivation step at the biohazard hood to comply with biosafety regulations at the individual laboratories. The difference with the off-DAC lysis method is as highlighted. The combinations of proteinase K and lysis buffer with the sample is in a tube as compared to in a plate that's using the on-DAC lysis method. Samples are incubated at room temp for virus inactivation in a biosafety hood for a user-defined time. Lysates are then transferred from the tubes to the 2 mil plates that's followed by 56-degree incubation. The samples are then transferred to the Maxwell cartridge. The MaxPrep facilitates and automates the addition of the plunger to the cartridge and the additions of buffers to the elution tubes. The extraction of the viral total nucleate is fully automated in the MaxPrep RSC platform. This table gives an overview of the MaxWell on-deck preparation time for the different methods, different sample types. The viral total nucleic acid on-deck preparations require approximately 1 hour, and this includes the proteinase K incubation step, and this is indicative for, again, 48 samples throughput. Now, you may have questions on what is the performance difference between the samples that's prepared manually and the samples that's prepared using the liquid handler. So this slide shows data specifically on the percentage yield comparison when DNA or RNA was isolated using different MaxWell kits with manual sample prep versus using the MaxPrep for pre-processing of the samples. And these are followed by extraction using the MaxWell system. Yields were then compared to those resulting from the manual prep and is plotted as a percentage. So we see here that the performance is similar between a manual sample preparation and using the MaxPrep liquid handler. Besides providing sample preparation for MaxPrep extraction, the MaxPrep liquid handler also supports protocols for post-extraction processes such as fluorescent quantitation, dye-based quantitation, normalization, sample transfer, dilution, as well as PCR and qPCR setup. New methods are always in development, and again, these methods are available for download on Promega webpage at no additional cost. The MaxPrep intuitive touchscreen, similar to the MaxWell, it provides a visual and interactive interface for preparing the liquid handler work table. Users can be trained and to run the samples within hours, as compared to the time that is invested in developing or purchasing complicated liquid handling protocols and scripting. The MaxPrep software is has a plug-and-play interface and does not require liquid handling expertise. It is pre-programmed by Promega, and so no programming needs to be done by the laboratory and by the user. As I've mentioned previously during the MaxPrep presentation, a special feature of the MaxPrep and MaxWell automation platform is the portal software. The portal software is a database that is shared by each Promega module in the workflow. Each instrument can be connected through the laboratory lab network to pass information through the portal to the next module in the workflow. Sample preparation performed on the MaxPrep liquid handler typically begins with scanning of the primary sample tube barcodes. When the sample pre-processing is completed, the portal will automatically make this preparation information available to any connected MaxWell instrument. Again, once the extraction is completed, the portal software will pass the full set of sample information to the next instrument in the workflow. The MaxPrep liquid handler can access this information and use this to prepare samples for quantitation, for normalization, and to prepare the samples for a variety of PCR reaction setup. The Promega portal software tracks and monitors sample and reagent data from the point of sample scan and passes this information to the next instrument in the workflow, such as the extraction on the MaxWell RSC or a separate RNC instruments. The Promega portal software allows all these connected modules to work together through the laboratory network, acting as a single cohesive unit without the disadvantages that is associated with a large integrated instrument platform. The portal software has no proximity requirements, so instrument can be in different rooms for different purposes, pre-extraction and post-extraction. In summary, I have presented a modular workflow integrating two platforms. As laboratory needs changes and evolves, the idea of a modular network of instruments that is working together as a seamless workflow becomes increasingly important. Instrumentation modules can be added to address aspects of the workflow that have increased throughput demands without having to acquire a completely different platform. This results in workflow redundancy and efficiency of the laboratory process. In the last few minutes, I'd like to do a quick introduction of a newly launched system by Promega. This is our new CE platform, the Spectrum Compact CE system. The Spectrum Compact is a personal benchtop CE instrument that supports both fragment analysis and segment sequencing. It's a 4-capillary system that uses the 36 caps. It supports 4, 5, 6 color channel detection, allowing custom dissect for homebrew multiplexers. It's compatible with existing sequencing chemistry and has 32 samples throughput in the format of 4 by 8 well strip tube. Similar to MaxPrep and MaxWell, the touchscreen is intuitive, enabling easy wizard-like operation and easy snap-in consumables. The system is compatible with existing chemistry, and the output files are compatible with commercially available analysis software. To learn more about the CE instrument, please feel free to reach out to Promega representatives for further inquiries. With this, I'd like to end my presentation, and I'll be happy to take any question. Before I end, I would also like to thank my channel partners, Novel Lab, for inviting me here to be part of this symposium. Please feel free to reach out to the local team if you require any information on the solutions that we have presented. Thank you.